Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Campbell, I'm trying to understand your answers to this committee. Let's start with the workers' dignity question, because your truthfulness under oath is surely, I notice my friends across the way now are utterly uninterested in any organization you've been a part of. They're suddenly utterly uninterested in things you wrote in the past. They're utterly uninterested in who you give money to. That wasn't the case just a few years ago, but be that as it may, surely they're interested in your truthfulness. I have now counted, just as I've sat here today, 4 separate answers by you, all of them conflicting as to what exactly was your relationship with workers' dignity. So let's just get this nailed down. First of all, did you disclose your relationship with workers' dignity to this committee?
Hey folks, welcome back to the channel, where we say what the mainstream media won't, and we stand up for truth, justice, and the American way. Today, we got a real doozy to talk about. I just watched the footage from Senator Josh Hawley grilling Biden's judicial nominee, Ms. Campbell, and frankly, if you care at all about honesty and integrity in our courts, you need to see this. This isn't just another political sideshow, folks. This is about the future of our judiciary and the kind of people this administration is trying to sneak onto the federal bench. Spoiler alert, they don't want you paying attention. Let's break down exactly what happened in that hearing, why it matters, and what it says about the state of our government.
Don't look at the chairman, look at me.
I'm not sure that I included that. I don't remember, Senator.
Oh, I think you do. The answer is no. You did not disclose it to this committee. Then you told Senator Grassley, I've never represented that group. Then you told Senator Lee, next, that you had indeed advised them, and that you'd advised them as a member of a legal advisory board. You said 10 years ago, right? Then you told Senator Cruz that, in fact, you told Senator Lee you'd advised them briefly. You told Senator Cruz, actually, you'd advised them for 3 years. Then you told Senator Durbin that it wasn't 10 years ago, it was 15 years ago. So what is it exactly? You didn't disclose your association with this radical group to the committee. You're currently listed now, your own bio lists you as a legal advisor to the Workers' Dignity Group from 2013 to the present. To the present. The Tennessee Bar Association cited your work with this group for your nomination. So what is the story? When did you start working for Workers' Dignity?
Senator, more than a decade ago, for 2 or 3 years, I served on a legal advisory committee or board.
So you gave them legal advice.
We were helping them set up as a nonprofit.
So you represented them. So you lied to Senator Grassley earlier when he explicitly asked you, did you do any legal work? And you said no.
Senator,
in fact, you served on a legal advisory board. That's your testimony now. Correct?
Senator, I served on this board.
On a legal advisory board, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So you lied to Senator Grassley here under oath. What else have you lied about? Workers' Dignity has condemned Israel's ethnic cleansing of Palestine. They have said that Israel is engaged in ethnic cleansing. Do you agree with that?
No, Senator.
How can I believe you? You just lied under oath a moment ago to Senator Grassley. You've lied to us up and down on this committee. I mean, this is a serious problem, Ms. Campbell. I have to say, I've never seen a witness, never, in 5 years in this committee, sit here and lie to us and change the story person to person. Why are you doing it? What is it? Why are you afraid to tell the truth about workers' dignity? Why have you lied to this committee? Why didn't you disclose it? Why did you lie to Senator Grassley? Why have you changed your story every time you're asked?
Senator, I have not lied to you today. I've tried to represent my participation with this group.
What you've done is you've misrepresented your participation with this group. You apologize to Senator Cruz for any confusion. You've created the confusion. Deliberately. Deliberately. Let's talk about something else that you've created confusion for. The biggest political donation that you've ever made is to Odessa Kelly, this radical candidate who said that members of this committee are Satanists, who endorsed violence. Why did you give money to Odessa Kelly? Over $1,000. I mean, that's not nothing. That may be nothing to you. That's not nothing to most people. Why'd you give money, the most money you've ever given, to this person?
Senator, Miss Kelly lives in my neighborhood. She's one of my neighbors.
And you agreed with her views?
No, on those views that you've read, I don't agree with them.
Oh, I haven't read any of them. I'm just asking you. Do you agree with her views? I mean, you gave her more money than anybody else. Your governor, your state senator, your attorney general. You gave her the most.
I do not agree with all of her views, no, Senator.
Well, which ones do you agree with? Can you name one?
Senator, I know that she is my neighbor, and I'm a neighborly person.
Oh, I see. You're a neighborly person. Well, I tell you this. You have represented to this committee that you didn't know what Odessa Kelly said and the frankly outrageous things that she said and did. You said you didn't know anything about workers' dignity. You lied to us about your association with that group. You said you didn't know anything about the Tennessee Immigrant Refugee Rights Coalition, who thanks you personally in their introduction. You said you didn't know anything about that. I mean, either all of these people are liars or you are, Ms. Campbell. It's one or the other. It's quite a pattern. Maybe they all are, but given what you've told us under oath today, I think the answer is you are. And for that reason, you are utterly unqualified to sit on the federal bench.
So here's the scene. Senator Hawley, a guy who, love him or hate him, isn't afraid to ask the tough questions, sits down with Ms. Campbell, who's up for a lifetime appointment as a federal judge. That's right, folks. This isn't a temporary gig. This is a position of massive power, influence, and responsibility. Now, you'd think that someone who wants to be a federal judge would come prepared to answer basic questions truthfully. But what we saw instead was a masterclass in evasiveness, double talk, and frankly, dishonesty. Let's start with the first bombshell, Ms. Campbell's relationship with this group called Workers' Dignity. Now, if you haven't heard of them, let me tell you, they're not exactly a run-of-the-mill charity. They've taken radical positions, including, get this, accusing Israel of ethnic cleansing. That's right, the same kind of rhetoric you hear from the far-left fringe. So Senator Hawley asks her, did you disclose your relationship with this group to the committee? And what does she say? I don't remember, Senator. Sorry, but that doesn't fly. This is a federal nomination, not a pop quiz. You don't forget to disclose an association with a group that's in your own bio. And then her story starts changing. First, she says she never represented the group. Then, when pressed, she admits she advised them maybe 10 years ago. Then it's 3 years. Then it turns out her bio says she's still involved right now. Folks, if you or I lied like that in a job interview, we wouldn't last 5 minutes. But it gets better or worse, depending on how you look at it. Hawley digs into her political donations. Turns out, the biggest donation she's ever made was to Odessa Kelly. Now, I don't know about you, but when I give money to someone, it's because I support them. Odessa Kelly isn't just any candidate. She's been out there calling sitting senators Satanists and even endorsing violence. That's not just spirited debate. That is dangerous rhetoric. So what's Ms. Campbell's excuse? Oh, she's my neighbor. I'm just being neighborly. Give me a break. You're telling me the biggest check you ever wrote in politics just happened to go to your neighbor, and you have no idea what she stands for? Either you're lying or you're not paying attention, and neither one qualifies you to be a federal judge. And here's the kicker. This isn't just one little slip-up. Senator Hawley points out that Ms. Campbell keeps misremembering her involvement with radical organizations. The Tennessee Immigrant Refugee Rights Coalition even thanked her personally, but she claims to know nothing about it. That's a pattern, folks. When someone can't keep their story straight under oath, how can we trust them to uphold the law with fairness and integrity? And let's not forget, being a judge means being a neutral arbiter, someone who puts the law above personal opinions and political alliances. But what do we see here? A nominee who plays fast and loose with the truth, who cozies up to radical groups, and who seems to think the rules don't apply to her. Now, you might be thinking, why does this matter? Don't all politicians lie? Well, sure, a lot of them do. But this is different. We're talking about a lifetime appointment to the federal bench. These are the people who decide what our laws mean, who can overturn legislation, who can shape the future of America for decades. If we let people like this slip through, people who can't even be honest in a job interview, what does that say about our country? What does that say to the millions of law-abiding Americans who just want a fair shake in the courts? It says the system is rigged, and that's exactly what the left wants. Let me be clear. I want judges who respect the Constitution, who tell the truth, and who have the courage to stand up for what's right, even if it's unpopular with the woke mob. What I saw in that hearing was the opposite. A nominee who shifts her story, who hides her radical associations, and who treats the truth like an inconvenience. Senator Hawley was right to press her on these issues, and frankly, every senator should be doing the same. We need more accountability, not less. We need judges who love this country and who respect the rule of law, not activists in robes. If you agree with me, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video. Let your friends and neighbors know what's really going on in Washington. And most importantly, call your senators. Tell them you want honest, patriotic judges on the bench, not political hacks who can't even tell the truth under oath. Thanks for watching, folks. Stay vigilant, stay patriotic, and God bless America.